Panama's small geographic area packs in a diverse range of landscapes, interesting towns and cities, and a myriad of vacation possibilities. Beautiful beaches and islands can be found along both the Pacific and Caribbean coasts, and the mountainous interior is home to coffee plantations, small towns, waterfalls, wildlife, and some wonderful hiking trails. In Panama City, you'll find a modern metropolis with shopping, dining, and an assortment of tourist attractions and things to do, including the country's most famous site, the Panama Canal. Most first-time visitors head to Casco Viejo, the old town, to soak up the atmosphere and see a little of the city's history. But for most visitors, Panama City is just a starting point before they head out on adventures to other parts of the country. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 rated attractions and things to do in Panama. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome travel guides, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we publish a new video. So now let's cut to the chase. At 10, enjoy a beach vacation at Playa Coronado. If all you want to do in Panama is hit the beach and relax in comfort, Playa Coronado is a perfect spot. The beaches here stretch for miles and are an interesting mix of sparkling black and gold sand. American chain restaurants and a large mall provide the touches of home that many of the retirees escaping cold northern winters appreciate. The water is not blue here, but more of a grey-green colour. Swimmers should be cautious of the large waves. Playa Coronado also has some good beachfront hotels and some delightfully romantic B&Bs, although a majority of the accommodation is private homes or condos. Due to the geography of Panama, Playa Coronado is one of the hottest places in Panama during the dry season. And next up at 9, it's kitesurf at Punta Chame. Although it's not on most travellers' itineraries, Punta Chame is home to one of the nicest beaches in Panama, and it's also the best place for kiteboarding in the country. Set on a peninsula jutting out into the Pacific Ocean, this area is literally all about the beach. The seemingly endless stretch of sand here is wide, and the water warm and shallow. This gives kiters who are learning the distinct advantage of being able to stand up in the water to collect themselves as they work with their kite. The winds are side on shore and quite consistent from December to April, which is Panama's dry season. Several kite schools offer lessons, including Machete Kite and Kitesurf Panama, located at opposite ends of the beach. Punta Chame is about 1.5 hours from Panama City and about 20 minutes from the town of Chame along the Pan American Highway. You can find good accommodation in small luxury beachfront hotels, or if you are looking for cheap accommodation, several hostels are available in town. Punta Chame has an end-of-the-world type feel, and this is not the place to come for nightlife. All of the action is focused on the beach and kite surfing, and for most people, this is the entire reason for visiting. Next up, at 8, swim in the river at Los Cangilones. One of the most fun things to do near Boquete is to visit the local swimming hole at Los Cangilones. Set at a lower elevation than Boquete, the climate here is much warmer, and on hot days you'll find a fun scene, complete with music, barbecues and food vendors. Panamanian families come from far and wide to splash and jump into the cool river water. In this unique geological place, the river narrows into a gorge before opening up again in a shallow pool at the bottom. Daring adults and older kids jump off the edges into the slowly moving waters and then float down to the bottom, climb out, and do it all over again. Youngsters and visitors who are looking for something a little milder can wade into the shallow waters where the gorge opens up. The walls vary in height, so it depends on how brave you are and how high you want to go. Don't be deceived, the walls are actually quite a bit higher than you may think. The clear water below distorts your height reckoning. Fortunately, lifeguards are on duty and keep a close eye to make sure the jumpers resurface. There is a small fee to enter the park, and it is a short walk from the parking areas down to the river. At 7, surf at Santa Catalina and day trip to Parque Nacional Coiba. One of Panama's top surf destinations on the Pacific coast is Santa Catalina. This small but growing town has a laid-back surfer feeling about it. Small guest houses and hotels and funky restaurants force you to slow down and relax. If you aren't here to surf, great snorkeling and scuba diving spots are nearby, and horseback tours through the surrounding countryside are good options for those not interested in getting wet. One of Santa Catalina's main draws is Isla Coiba. The lush island, now Coiba National Park, is almost untouched and is considered a biodiversity hotspot, with close to 200 bird species and crocodiles, turtles and snakes. Scuba diving here is very popular due to the enormous whale sharks that frequent the area. These gentle giants are curious creatures and enjoy interacting with divers. Tours to Isla Coiba can be arranged in Santa Catalina. At 6, escape to the San Blas Islands. If you truly want to get off the beaten track and have a taste of adventure, a trip to the San Blas Islands might be just what you're looking for. Postcard perfect islands with palm trees and crystal clear water gently lapping the white sand beaches are what this area is all about. The most luxurious way to explore these islands is on a sailboat charter. Your captain will chart a course through this spectacular region, stopping at unbelievably beautiful spots. The boats are luxury catamarans and cruises are anywhere from 3 to 21 days in length. All meals and beverages are included, and dining under the stars while the waves gently rock the boat is sublime. If your budget doesn't allow for crude catamaran, economical options are available. However, you need to be prepared to bring out your inner Robinson Crusoe, as the accommodations are, well, generally on the rustic side. The only way to stay on these idyllic islands is to book a package with the local indigenous Guna people, which includes transport to, from and around the islands, very rustic accommodation, no electricity for example, and 3 basic meals a day. This is a totally off-the-grid type of trip, so prepare accordingly, physically, well, and mentally. At 5, wander the narrow streets of Casco Viejo in Panama City. History surrounds you as you stroll through the narrow streets of Casco Viejo, also known as the Old Town. See colourful buildings, historic ruins and great views out over the bay towards the gleaming towers of modern Panama City. This area is compact and all the sites are within an easy stroll of one another. In the evening, the buildings and ruins are creatively lit up and restaurants set up tables and chairs on the sidewalks. Casco Viejo is ideal for a romantic getaway, with boutique hotels located in restored buildings dating from the 18th or 19th century. At 4, hiking and nature in Boquete. The mountain town of Boquete has a wonderful climate where you can escape the sometimes oppressive heat of the coast and lower areas. The town is relaxed and safe, catering to expats and people escaping the winters in northern climates and local Panamanians looking for a weekend getaway. Some of the appeal here is the variety of good restaurants, as well as a mix of quality hotels and luxury inns. It's also one of Panama's most important coffee-growing areas and known as a hotspot for nature and wildlife, particularly hiking and birdwatching. Having a vehicle here is quite handy for touring the surrounding mountains and reaching trailheads and nearby sites, but you can also arrange tours with transportation to the coffee plantations. One of the best short drives in Panama leaves from the outskirts of Boquete. This scenic loop of about 15 miles passes the main hiking trails, a beautiful river, an abandoned castle and waterfalls. The road also provides amazing views down the valley and up the slopes of Volcan Baru. Along the loop is Finca Lerida Lodge with an outstanding restaurant. It's also one of the best places to visit to see birds in the area. This makes a nice lunch stop where you can watch the non-stop hummingbird action. Serious hikers can arrange to hike up the Barro volcano, leaving in the wee hours of the morning with a guide to be at the summit for sunrise. You can also tackle hikes like the popular Quetzal Trail, leaving from nearby Volcan Baru National Park, or one of several waterfall hikes off the Loop Road. If you want to experience a little nature here without leaving Boquete, plan a stay at the quaint Boquete Garden Inn and enjoy breakfast outside while you can watch the colourful birds dining at the feeders. And now at 3, watch the sun go down on the Sunset Coast. Where else? One of the very few places in Panama where you can watch the sunset over the Pacific Ocean, the Sunset Coast is an undiscovered area with small towns, wide open beaches, and a small number of lodges and inns where you can get away from the tourist scene. This is rural Panama, home to rolling hills, small villages, family farms, and huge beaches lined by palms and forests. Foreign tourists are not plentiful the way they are in other areas of the country, and many of the visitors are Panamanian. The road down to the Sunset Coast from the Pan American Highway is twisty and has a few potholes to dodge, but every mile takes you further off the beaten track. This area is also popular with surfers. The wide open beaches take the brunt of the Pacific Ocean rollers, and it's rare that you'll need to share a wave. If you want a beach all to yourself, this is the place to come. At 2, surf, dive and soak up the beaches of Bocas del Toro. Bocas del Toro is Panama's main beach destination in the Caribbean. This collection of low-lying tropical islands not far from the border with Costa Rica is known for its outstanding soft sand beaches lapped by crystal clear, azure-coloured waters. The atmosphere here is beyond relaxed, with many young travellers coming to the area and in some cases staying for months or years. Things to do in Bocas del Toro include surfing, swimming, diving or just lazing on the beach. Activities are generally cheap. Although you can find luxury resorts with infinity pools, this is a budget-friendly destination frequented by many singles or couples. The main town, also called Bocas del Toro or simply Bocas Town, is located on Isla Colón. The town itself is not known for beaches, but you can find lovely stretches of sand on other parts of the island or by taking a boat to nearby islands. Some of the most popular are Bluff Beach, Starfish Beach and Red Frog Beach. Bocas del Toro has an airport on Isla Colón, which is how many travellers get to the islands. If you are exploring Panama by car or public transport, most people come here after a stop in Boquete. From Boquete, you can drive about 3.5 hours over the mountains to the town of Almirante, and from here, take a 25-minute boat ride to the town of Bocas del Toro. Boat trip pricing is set by the government, and all boats charge the same amount. Parking in Almirante is safe and not expensive. Don't worry about finding the parking lots. Touts will flag you down and direct you to their preferred lot, thereby earning themselves a small commission. This is a good investment if you are not familiar with the town. And finally, at number 1, sea ships transiting through the Panama Canal. Panama's most famous attraction is by far the Panama Canal, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Watching a massive ship piled high with colourful containers gliding quietly into the locks reveals the true enormity of this great feat of engineering. Taking a boat tour through the canal gives you even more perspective. If you want to simply see the Panama Canal, the best place to do this is at the Miraflores locks, about 25 minutes from downtown Panama City. You can see the canal from the 5-story visitor centre, complete with a small museum, a restaurant and an IMAX theatre in a separate building. And there you have the top 10 rated attractions and things to do in Panama. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic travel guides. See you next time.